believe, pass on those opportunities because you say, well, come back when you have some bigger dealer groups, or come back when you have more dealers on the program. The problem with that is we created market saturation, and now everyone becomes equalized and nobody has a competitive advantage. So I would just tell you, like I said, with those three things: verify your compliance, look for innovation, be on the lookout for that, and look to match one of the 2 out of 3. Any product changes or vendor changes should be for the benefit of increasing revenue, increasing and enhancing the customer experience, or increasing speed. At least 2 out of 3 of those things should be a factor in this whole process. Now, flipping sides for a second, selling to dealers for my vendors that are on here. And again, many of you could be on here that already have successful companies. You're already working with dealers, but you're looking for greater market penetration. You're looking for, more OEM traction, different factors in terms of where you'd like to get your product service, especially if you're on here and you do fall into the category of innovation. You have a product or service that you're offering in the F&I department that, again, crosses the I's and T's from lens points, but you're not getting the same traction because the one thing I know after being in this business for 20 years is I tell dealers I'm not in the training business or the consulting business. I'm really in the change business, because most of the time what I have to do is ask a dealer and ask an organization to change the way that they're doing something. And I don't know, arguably, if there's any tougher group of people to do that with than our dear auto industry. So from the selling the dealer factor, because I work with a lot of Silicon Valley kind of based companies or people coming to market that don't have deep automotive experience, my advice for those people that are on this call today is to kind of focus around these 4 pillars, which generally have led to the increase in market share for your product or service. Now, I operate purely under the premise and share this information purely with the premise that you have a good quality product or service that is actually going to help dealers in the marketplace. So those 4 pillars: A, what is the brand story? So every market growth driven company right now is pretty much driven by the premise of what their story is or what their brand represents. So if you think about the things you do in your personal life, people buy socks from the Bombas Sock Company because they donate a pair to shelters. Tom's became a huge shoe company, not because their shoes were so great, but because they bought a pair and gave a pair. So what is the reason as a vendor that is driving your process? Think about Shark Tank for a second, right? They go, how'd you come up with that idea? And the guy goes, I just knew there was a better way. So what's the actual brand story? Not just, hey, we're better, you're going to make so much more money with us, but what's the brand story? Number 2, what is the thought leadership as a vendor that you're now bringing to the table to actually enhance the dealer's business? The one thing I know for sure, and I have a great deal of empathy for all dealers, general managers, or decision makers inside a dealership, is that your phone is ringing all day long, not purely with people who want to buy cars, but with people who want to sell you products. And of course, the great takeaway word for everybody in our business is everything's a game changer, everything's a disruptor, everything's going to be revolutionary. And most of the times, it's not quite that. Sure, there are innovations that take place in our business, but everything can't be a game changer. So instead of simply having the older method, I would say, philosophy of simply features and benefits, what is the actual thought leadership that you're bringing to the table that will help enhance the dealer's business? Number 3, what does the competitive advantage now become in that marketplace? So not just how you're different, because that's an easy one, right? Just to think about we're different in this way, and you put it on the grid with check boxes, right? But what is the actual competitive advantage? How do they get ahead of the game in the business? How do they create innovation inside the store? And how are you going to do that for them? And ultimately, how do you fill in the 2 out of the 3 rules in terms of revenue, customer experience, or speed? And then the 4th thing that keeps vendors or keeps dealers with you long-term, in my opinion, is fanatical support. And what I mean by fanatical support is dealers need to have confidence that you're going to be there because it all sounds good. I come from a sales background. I come out of the dealership environment. I worked in the sales department, internet, BDCs, and on the desk. So I get it. It all sounds good in the sales presentation, but what dealers often find is the support doesn't necessarily match the sales pitch. So having an infrastructure and making the investment in front, especially in a sensitive product or service marketplace like the finance and insurance department, having fanatical support, making sure dealers know how you will support them, and also understanding how your competitors may not support in that area. And where they may be lacking. All too often, especially when it comes to new products and services hitting the market, we're so quick to build the app and to build the technology, and we go, great, let's make it look good, look pretty, sound good in the pitch, sign the dealer, but we have not built out our infrastructure. Now, a dealer calls in for support, and he's on hold an excessive amount of time, or worse yet, he's going into a voicemail box, or they're having trouble getting to someone. There's no rep returning their phone calls. Things of that nature kill ultimately the business. And that fanatical support many times will have a stronger marketplace presence